All right, I am joined by Aaron Jacobson, who I used to work for 95.7 WDAE, Sports Animal. I don't know if we call that anymore, but I'm always going to call it that. Aaron, what's going on, dude?
What's up, man?
Thanks for coming on, dude. I talked to you last week. I sent you an email. It was a panicked email in the middle of the night. I was asking about a job, if I should try to apply for a job, and then I think I said, let me take the job of the guy working for you right now. And then I just got into like I missed you. It got into like a whole bunch of stuff, and I read it in the morning, and I go, oh my god, this is, if there's one person that I know that would understand, where I'm at, it's you. So I didn't feel totally bad, but I go, oh man, I just put a whole lot in this guy's lap to wake up to in the morning. So luckily we caught up and got everything covered and out of the way. But
You're the
it just
one
made
guy,
me.
if I get like a random email or text at any point in the day or night, I never take it the wrong way. I know you and I love you.
Okay, all right, I appreciate that. I needed that. And I did. The lady did call me about the Ryan Gorman job, but I did not call her back at all. So
Yes,
thank you for.
good. All right, well, there you go.
Well, she emailed me at 8:15 and was like, "Give me a call 8:15 in the morning." And I go, "Okay." I go, "What's your time frame like?" And she's like, "I'm open till 9." And I go, "9? What the fuck, dude?"
We
Like, I
do
mean,
short
even
windows.
yeah. Well, even though I'm unemployed, I still got a couple things I got to do in the morning. So once she gave me that window, I figured she was pretty much done with me. So I got the email 2 nights ago that I did not get the job. So I'm still out here on the streets, but. The thing that I got excited about was I talked to you about the Knicks. Your Knicks are in the finals. I love basketball. It's become my favorite sport over the past couple of years. Nobody else fucking cares, which is fine. You're obviously a basketball guy. We started talking about when you're on the air, your program director, Nick, doesn't want you talking about basketball, right?
Well, it's like I'm Aaron from Sarasota. I'm not Aaron. Sometimes you got to turn off the where I was born because I did grow up in Sarasota. So it became also on top of that, you just said it. Nobody cares about basketball. So, for the program director, they want the listeners to be listening to things that they actually care about. And for basketball here, for some reason, and I don't know if I fully believe it yet, basketball doesn't hit here because we don't have a professional sports team here. I still think there's a ton of transplants that are, whether they're Knicks fans or 76ers fans or Celtics fans. I do think they exist, but pretty small portion, I guess.
That the thing to me is it's almost not just a Tampa Bay thing. To me, it's just and I can't speak for the teams, for the cities that have NBA teams, but just from being around, just from being on the radio, just talking to people, dude, it just seems like basketball is an afterthought. It feels like it's fallen behind hockey. It feels like it's fallen behind NASCAR. And again, I don't know if that's just where we live overall, but it just feels like generally, man, there's just not a lot of people talking basketball. And when you ask people, they go, "Oh, I hate the way these guys play," or "It's not like it used to be," or all these excuses. You can tell they're not watching it. But what do you think it is, maybe just outside of Tampa Bay, that people are gravitating away from basketball?
I think you just nailed it. I think it's a cop out. Oh, the game's not the way it used to be. There's no physicality. SGA is going to flop to the ground. They're going to call a foul. Well, like, yeah, okay. There's a lot of instances where you look at slow down and slow motion, and you can on the instant replay. Shea and a couple other guys will flop. Shea's also a tremendous scorer. He's a tremendous basketball player. Like you watch all the other stuff. Yes, like go watch all the other intangibles of a Shea, and they're all littered across the board, all in green because he's a great basketball player. So if you're watching the game, and yeah, there can be a ton of scoring in this year, and they're trying to take some steps to thwart it. The tanking thing is a problem because the games during the season are not competitive. A lot of them, like I will give them
Let me
that.
ask let me ask you this, because I had this as a question today, so I'm just going to jump right in and ask you, what's more of a problem for the NBA, flopping or tanking?
Tanking, without a doubt. It's not even close tanking because you want the game. Flopping is something that, first of all, it's an art form. If you want to give them a little credit, it's an art form. The art form of the flop. You got to be good at it if you're going to draw the attention of the ref to give you the foul. But
Well, Wemby
it
hasn't
doesn't,
mastered that yet. With Wemby falling down after he takes the jumper the other night. I mean, that kind of
well,
stuff is, to me, that kind of stuff's ridiculous.
but you know what? They didn't call the foul and he missed the shot. So maybe if he stays upright and he shoots it the regular way, they win that ball game. So that's a lesson learned. So that's how I
Yeah.
looked at it. But the tanking is a problem because there are a lot of non-competitive games during the season. That's just not a product that you really want to have if you're Commissioner Silver or the NBA. You want to make sure that every single game there could be some explosive fireworks, and you just don't have that.
But let's be honest. Let's look at baseball. We know going into the baseball year, outside of the White Sox who are putting together something, we know who's going to be good. We know who's going to be bad. We know who's in the 10-year rebuild and everything like that. With basketball going into the year, we know the Nets aren't going to be good. We know the Kings are going to fucking suck. Like, we know the teams that are going to be bad. So when we start talking about these teams that are tanking, like whether it's Utah or whether it's Memphis or anything like that, to me, like, it doesn't necessarily guarantee you anything. You get a draft position, but it doesn't necessarily mean you're going to draft the best player. And I also don't know what we're expecting. Do we expect 30 teams to be able to compete every night?
No, no, but there's too many really bad teams, and that's a problem because that's why they're trying to stop this. And as far as the draft and how the order goes, they're trying to figure that out and come up with a recipe that works because it does the basketball's not competitive, so it does suck. Where you don't get that in a lot of other sports. The Houston Astros, for a little while, they started tanking. It's hard to do in baseball because, like you said, sometimes the draft picks don't pan out. You just never know. But that's sports in general. There's going to be one or two outliers. The White Sox, the A's, they come out, they surprise you. Ooh, who's this team? Baseball, you got to do it for 162 games. So you got to be
Yeah.
able to sustain it. But when I look at basketball, if you love basketball and you have your favorite team, now for the teams that suck, for those fans, that's horrible. You got to deal with that the entire season. That's with every single sport. There's going to be teams that sucks. Go talk to Browns fans. Go talk to Jets fans. Before week one even starts, the season is over. So that's
Absolutely.
everywhere. You either love the game or you don't love the game. And I think it's a cop out for anyone that comes out there and says the game's not like how it used to be. I just don't think you pay attention to it enough. You're watching other things. You're not watching it enough to really know if you actually enjoy it or not.
Yeah, the level of athleticism for some of these guys. I mean, to me, this is it's. And I'm going to ask you, who I think your favorite players are and who some of the best players are in the league. I'm going to ask you that later because I want to get into the Knicks, man. But it's just, I don't know if it's just me at my point in my life, or because I like basketball cards, or because I've really just embraced everything about, from watching Shaq, Ernie, and Kenny and all those guys to the NBA Cup to just watching a random Knicks Hawks game on a Tuesday night, man. Like, there's so many great players, and it's so fun to watch. So let me ask you this, dude. Obviously, the whole world's focusing on New York right now. Knicks in four. Everybody, tell me how you're feeling, man, as a longtime Knicks fan.
Nervous. How could you, like, I did this, we're in this sweep, get the brooms out. Like, no, stop. I got friends talking to me about a parade. Are you coming up for the parade? What parade? There's no parade. Nothing's
What do you mean,
happened
Kobe
yet.
Bryant? There's going to be a parade. I was going to ask you about the parade too.
Great. Let's get to that point first. There have been teams. Go talk to the Suns a couple years ago if they were planning a parade when they were up 2-0.
Well, Aaron, I can tell you from my time with the Lightning, and even when you hit the Stanley Cup final, the cities start preparing for the parade. So I'm saying not the fans necessarily, but the teams, they have to start kind of working out days and things like that. So it is being discussed right now.
I don't want to discuss it. Then they can figure out the logistics of it. You can figure out what you're going to do to cancel watch parties, which is ridiculous, by the way.
Yes.
Canceling watch parties and the logistics of what's happening in New York, I don't know. What I know is there's a game tonight that they have to win, and I love what the players are saying. 0-0, 0-0. This series just started. I don't know if they actually believe that because when you look in the mirror, you're up 2-0 and you're at home. You know this. But I like that they're saying it, and I hope they go out there and they deliver like it's nothing, nothing in the series. Because if you lose this game tonight at the Garden, then oh no, here we go. And then if they tie it up, then it's a whole new series. So no, I'm not doing that before we get there.
Have you seen too much heartbreak in your life? Is that why? Because listen, I'm not sitting here saying the Knicks are guaranteed to win the championship. San Antonio is a top-notch team that responded every night that they needed to against OKC. Now, I do think that OKC and Wemby, I felt like that was their NBA Finals, knocking off OKC. So I feel like with what Wemby said about maybe he had too much emotions after that last one, but they respond. So do you feel like that you're just kind of waiting for the other shoe to drop and it all fall apart like it has before, or do you think this is different?
Not the latter. the beginning, the first
Mm,
one.
yeah.
That's the life of a neurotic Jewish man that has been torn apart by his teams, blood spilled day in and day out. I mean, my poor father having to grow up. I mean, he got the Rangers Cup in '94, but Knicks, Jets, Mets, that is typically the trio. That's all you have in your life is misery. Yeah, 86, Buckner, Mookie Wilson through the legs, but just heartbreak and potential that's gone down the tubes. New York's a very hard place to get it done. That's why what Jalen Brunson's doing is the most insane thing I've ever seen in my lifetime. I'm a little biased being a Knicks fan, but like to come in as the most clutch player in not only the NBA, maybe all of sports, and doing it at the Garden, the Mecca, doing it in New York, where it's impossible to win under those conditions. He's incredible, but yeah, it's hard to do it.
Yeah, and Brunson's not even playing that well this series, but I mean, it still doesn't matter because they're getting the job done as a team, and I'm enjoying it. I really like I really like when they get done with the game and it's like 105 to whatever, or it's the game's in the 90s in the fourth quarter. Like that's really like throwback basketball, and it's not 127 to 122 or anything with 4 minutes left. What do you think about the? I saw Stephen A. Smith going on a rant this morning about Donald Trump, how he shouldn't be there. I really think it's funny how I don't know if it's pop culture or the political people. I don't know what they always love to insert themselves into everything. And now a bunch of people are debating whether or not Donald Trump should be there. I don't even think that's the main story. I think it'll be interesting to see the reaction that he gets. But do you think that he shouldn't be there at all?
Here's where I stand on it. One, it could mess up the vibes of what's going on right now. I don't know how, but like it might. And I don't want anything a wrench thrown into this. I also forget about Trump for a second. I don't like the ticket prices. I don't know
Okay.
what type of fans are going to be at the Garden tonight because I want the raucous crowd. And I don't know if the suits that can spend $10,000 for the cheapest seat in the house, I don't know how much they really care to watch the game or they just want to be people at the game. Now,
But what do we do? What do we do? It's easy to say, and I appreciate it. Josh Hart, spoke about ticket prices being insane. I mean, what are you supposed to do? The Knicks are in the finals for the first time in 20 plus years, looking to win a championship. And when you talked about Jets, Mets, and Knicks, the one thing is the city all agrees on the Knicks. That's the thing that brings everybody together. Is the Knicks, much like in Chicago, White Sox, Cubs, everybody comes together for the Bears. That's what So I feel like with
the
everybody
Nets
coming,
wish. The
yeah,
Nets wish they were part of that. Okay, so here's the thing. I personally like when it comes to the ticket prices, that sucks. You're not going to get in there, fine. This is where we get back to the Trump situation. The watch parties getting canceled. Those are the everyday blood, sweat, and tears Knicks fans that have been battling and dealing with terrible teams all season long. They've been following this team. They're the ones that I think are the one that are really suffering here. I feel the worst for them because the streets, this team has brought everyone together, all New Yorkers together. So I think that disruption, guys that spend a lot of money to get in the game, oh, they got to go in 2 hours early to get, frisked by security. That sucks, but like, I wouldn't want to do it. But
right.
that's the price you pay to get into the game. For these other people that cannot go to the watch party because they've canceled the watch party, that really sucks.
Now, are you talking about the watch party outside MSG?
Yeah, they canceled it because of Trump, because the president's going to be there.
Those watch parties, and again, I just know from the lighting, but man, those especially outside the arena, or just being around such a group of people, and I would imagine this happens in New York more than other cities in general. But yeah, that energy that you get when your team's doing well, and again, Knicks energy. Stephen A. Smith's talking like nobody's even felt anything like this before. So yeah, it's a lot. But the thing that I hate is canceling the watch parties, but also like this is for any event. This is the Super Bowl. This is anything. Like when any big event comes to town, regular people working 9 to 5s, they're not getting in, and I feel like we should just. I don't have $10,000 for a ticket. I just haven't put myself in that position in my life. I feel like we should all be able to adjust to why they're charging so much and what we can do to still have fun. I feel like like everybody that can't go to the game, they're acting like it's going to be homeless now, living in the streets.
Well, that's it. Like this is America. Like I wish I could go to luckily with the press pass, I get to go to a lot of these things. The market will dictate. It's just like the World Cup tickets. Like the market's going to dictate if people want to spend a lot of money or if they don't want to spend a lot of money, and there'll be empty seats. But those watch parties outside the Garden, right there. I mean, you've never been to the Garden, right?
No.
Yeah, I mean, it's right there, smack dab in the middle of the city. Like it is on any given night. Forget about Knicks games. That area alone is ridiculous. So to take that away, where something has been organically growing, and to take it away, that doesn't sit well. I feel bad for those people because those are the everyday folks. The bars have
Yes.
been impossible to get into. So that was the area where these people could just kind of be together and watch it, and that's being taken away. So the vibes are killed a little bit with that, and that's New York right there.
Tell me what your take is on Danhausen. The thing that I love about you is I know that you're plugged in. I can't say that everybody in my life is plugged in. You're obviously on the radio doing a morning show, so you have to know. But I sent you a picture of Danhausen, and he obviously has cursed every team the Knicks have played. The Knicks haven't lost since he's been on board.
Did
It's
he
kind of
start the
fun.
cursing? Was it in the Cavs series that he started joining the Knicks curse? Like that's when I first saw him jump on the scene, and the Knicks guys, the players were mentioning him, and yeah, he was on the floor. Like curse was full on in effect.
Yes, I don't think he did the curse during the Atlanta series. Now his whole gimmick is cursing stuff, but this is really funny because Danhausen just came into the WWE probably a few months ago, and he's been really viral because he does comedy. He does a little wrestling, but he's more kind of comedy. And so he started this whole shtick where he's getting on ESPN and he's cursing the teams the Knicks are playing. Well, the Knicks haven't fucking lost since Danhausen's been in the picture, and this is just a guy that paints his face and he's some sort of evil clown wrestler. And I just wanted to get your take as a serious Knicks fan, who I know you don't like wrestling. How are you dealing with kind of the cross section of it?
Here's what I'm dealing with. First of all, I watched a documentary on Roman Reigns yesterday, so I'm starting to get into wrestling. I'm going to get
Okay.
into it, but I believe in superstitions. I believe in these dumb little things. And if you tell me they haven't lost, if somebody goes, "Hey, they have not lost since his curse has been enacted," I will say, "Yes, curse. Keep doing it. Keep putting your mojo on against whoever the Knicks are playing." We throw the kitchen sink at it right now. This is not only basketball. This is witchcraft. It's all at play. It's where I position my foot when I'm sitting. It's my brother's wife, who for the last two games, he's locked her in the bathroom, slash, she's so dedicated, she's locked herself in the bathroom. And when good
Wow.
things happen, yes, yes, to the point where my brother and I were discussing, like, hey, maybe we'll just get you a TV and put it in the bathroom because that's just how this thing is going. And if the curse is going to help out as well, I believe in it. If they haven't
I,
lost since this thing started, I'm in.
I appreciate that you're leaning into it. All right, so we were talking about fans, and I saw this. I did steal this question, but I felt like it was good. I wanted to ask you. They asked one of the players, Jalen Brunson, I think it was, give me your Mount Rushmore of Nick celebrity fans.
All right. You got to throw Spike Lee on at the top of the list because
Yes.
just everything he's done. Now, I don't know if that's the best example because Reggie Miller choke. I believe that was directly Spike's fault.
Yes. Yeah.
It
No,
was
that was. I don't know if you're blaming Spike for the downfall of the Knicks that year, but Spike's been there, man. Spike's always been there, even through the really dark early James Dolan years.
I'm going to throw number two on here, and this is going to be a controversial one. But the things I've seen from this kid and his fandom growing up when he was a nobody, to the point where this kid won a scavenger hunt competition in 2010 and got to meet Landry Fields to win tickets to the Knicks game. You catapult yourself when you are a mega famous star, and you've done that. Timothy Chalamet is number two on my list. Number two
I I
already.
love the I love the Chalamet. I don't even I have can't say I've even seen any of his movies, but he seems like a great guy, very talented. I like seeing his genuine excitement down there on the floor. But I mean, he hasn't been there as long as say, and you haven't finished your list,
Oh,
but
oh yeah, I got a list. I don't want you to steal
go
my
ahead. Yeah,
list.
finish. Yeah.
Is Tracy Morgan on your list?
Tracy Morgan was not on my list, but he was on Jalen Brunson's list.
Tracy Morgan. I've not seen Jalen's list. Tracy Morgan is such a Knicks fan. He coaches these guys, and like when he's out on the front row on the court side, he's coaching them up, and he claims they listen to him. I don't know. I don't
What's
know.
he what's he telling them that Mike Brown can't tell them?
He's been doing this way before Mike Brown. This goes back to Phil Jackson days, I think, even maybe
Okay.
before that.
All right, so this is going to be interesting. So you have one spot left, and you have some. You got you got Fat Joe's in there. You
Fat Joe's
got
definitely in there. Stiller.
Stiller's in there. Stiller didn't. I don't think Stiller made Jalen Brunson's. It was that chick from was it CSI that he loves so much? Is that
Yes,
she
I
goes to
don't know
the
her
games?
name, but she's always at the games. Emmy Rossum from Shameless is always at the games.
Okay. Is Larry David? Has he ever had any of the games?
Larry David goes to the games. I don't know how many because Larry hates being in public and he hates germs and he hates whatever he hates. So I don't know how many games Larry's going to, but yeah, Larry's a big fan.
I
Um,
would.
who I think Fat Joe is probably he was not on my list. I was going to go Stiller, Ben Stiller, but I think Fat Joe might be the guy.
Fat Joe. Okay, so you got Spike Lee, Chalamet, Tracy Morgan, Fat Joe. That's not bad. I mean, that's not bad. I think that's pretty
No,
good. I would.
I feel like I'm
It's
leaving
bad.
people out. No, it's a good list, but I'm like, who am I leaving off of this list?
Stiller. I think Stiller. Stiller has been tweeting, has been at every game, not just playoffs, regular season. Stiller's there. We got a
Yep.
new. It's incredible timing. Did you know there's another Meet the Fockers movie coming out with Ariana
Oh, I
Grande?
can't wait. I can't wait. It looks so good.
Right, another one. This is perfect timing. His Knicks are in the finals, and he's getting this maximum promotion for his movie. So I think he's the only one to me that I feel like gets left out. That's there every single night.
Every night he's tweeting about it. Ben Stiller even had a tweet that people I forgot what happened that night. Something bad happened like in the world. And Ben Stiller tweeted out something about the Knicks, and everyone thought it was about what was happening in the news, and they're calling him out. He's like, "Dude, this is about the Knicks game." So yeah, it's pretty crazy. Yeah, I think I'm definitely missing some. But there's a lot. I mean, Miles Teller, another one. He's an actor that's always at the
Jimmy
Knicks game.
Fallon.
Jimmy Fallon, Billy Joel, I believe. Yeah, there's a ton of them. Howard Stern, Knicks fan, but like, I don't know how many games he goes to because he's a germaphobe too.
Yeah. I couldn't. I thought about him, but I couldn't put him in there. I like your list. A lot of people would. A lot of people probably wouldn't put Chalamet on there just because he's a little younger, and they might hate Kylie Jenner for the Kardashian tie and all that stuff. But to me, it looks like he's completely made her a fan. It looked also they showed her the other night sneaking vodka into the game, which I love billionaires that are sneaking in alcohol to the events. But I mean, dude, I saw him after the Knicks advanced to the finals, and I mean, he's on there dapping up Cat. I mean, I know that he's probably friends with all these guys, and a lot of people will look at it and be like, oh, millionaire actors being friends with millionaire athletes. Like, who cares? But I love seeing that camaraderie. Like, I love seeing that's what sports, it just brings all these people from different walks of life together.
Everybody. And by the way, when it comes to Chalamet, if you were a fan, a Knicks fan from like '05 to 2012, and you went through some of these different eras, and you were nobody then, just a kid, and you went through that, you are up there. Like you're Knicks super fan, and that's Timothy Chalamet. Like he went through the horrific Knicks era, and like we all have, but he did it through his like years of developmental sports fandom stages, and that I respect.
Tell me where you've come out on the James Dolan Charles Oakley situation. James Dolan, and again, I don't know when this was, 10, 20 years ago. I have no idea, but it seemed like he was one of the most hated owners in sports. And I guess with the Knicks being good these last few years, maybe he's kind of taken a step back. But I feel like nobody even talks about him anymore. It popped back up because I think he banned Charles Oakley from the Garden years ago because Oakley was being critical. Oakley is a New York Knicks legend. I guess Michael Jordan and David Silver or Adam Silver tried to broker some peace and it couldn't happen. I just want to see what your take is on that since Oak is a legend and why is your owner seem like he's not hated anymore?
Dolan is still hated. People still hate Dolan. They're
Okay,
just
okay.
not concentrated on Dolan right now. But he is absolutely still hated, probably forever and always. But when it comes to Oakley, it happened years ago at the Garden where it became a scene. We saw video of Oakley getting like escorted out from security. And ever since then, I've been on Oakley's side. I've always hated Dolan, so I usually take anything against Dolan. But I was on Oakley's side until recently. Now I'm on nobody's side. because
Okay.
I don't know what's going on with Oakley. I don't know. I haven't done enough research on it, but I did hear Oakley recently talking about how like he doesn't talk to Pat. Basically doesn't mess with Patrick Ewing, any of those guys that he spent many years with on the Knicks. He's like he doesn't talk to those guys. They don't talk to him. He was talking trash about Patrick Ewing. And then it starts to me. It's like, all right, well, maybe you and Dolan both are just a little out there, and maybe there's something more to Oakley that like we just don't know about. I don't like Knicks legends getting shunned, but there might be more to that than we know.
Yeah, I'm sure. It's just Oakley is just a prime player from when I was a Bulls fan as a kid, and seeing how close all those Knicks teams get. And look, I'm not surprised if some of these guys don't talk to each other and everything like that. Yeah, maybe Patrick Ewing can't associate with Oakley if Oakley's getting tossed, escorted out of the guard and all that. Maybe for being belligerent. Who the hell knows? Maybe because he had fair criticisms. But either way, I wanted to just get your take on Dolan. Now, everybody's talking about Trump that's coming to Madison Square Garden. But for the first time in, I believe, 14 years, Linsanity is returning to the Garden. He is, I don't know if anybody gives a shit about this at all. He said he's never seen a Knicks game as a fan, and he's looking forward to catching games 3 and 4. Are you okay with Linsanity returning, and is this a big deal at all?
Okay with him returning, not a big deal at all. I think it's been
Okay.
14. You know what shocked me? Linsanity was like 14 years ago. That's shocking to me. That seems like that was yesterday. So, side note, I told you I was superstitious.
Yes.
Game one, getting ready for game one, and I realized my John Starks jersey is it reeked, like reeked. So I had to wash it, and it didn't get done in time. So I got stuck with my secondary jersey because I didn't want to wear my Knicks sweatshirt or anything. I wanted to wear a jersey. And back in 2013 or so, or 2014, right after Jeremy Lin left because he got a better contract, I believe, with the Raptors, my dad was in New York City and he came home with a gift for me and my brother. That gift happened to be a $5 Jeremy Lin jersey. We each got one. We each got one. So I was stuck game one in the Jeremy Lin jersey and my vintage Knicks cap, which is great. But Knicks win. I go, crap, I got to wear this thing game two. I'm stuck in Jeremy Lin game two. They almost blow game two. I'm like ready to take the Lin jersey off. They win in dramatic fashion in game two. I'm stuck in this finals tied to Jeremy Lin, whether I like it or not.
Okay, well, I'm glad I brought it up, though, man. I mean, he's not a bad guy. He has a little magic. I don't know if he's going to be able to bring it. I don't know if the magic ran out a long time ago. I'm very pleased to hear that you have a John Starks jersey, man. He was one of the absolute toughest bastards when they used to play those series against the Bulls, man. I mean, that dude had no fear going up against Jordan. I always thought that he was a baller, him and Anthony Mason. So let me ask you this. Who are, and just from your era, don't feel like we have to go back to Walt Frazier and all that bullshit, Phil Jackson, who are your starting 5 favorite Knicks of all time?
Oh wow, that's a really good one. I mean, you know what's crazy, and I know it sounds prisoner of the moment, but this is a historic team. Right away, Jalen Brunson goes in there.
Yeah.
Right away, Patrick Ewing, of course, goes in there. John Starks goes in there. Allen Houston goes in there.
There you go, dude. That's what I was hoping you would say. I had Allen Houston. I'm glad you said that one.
Allen Houston goes in there. Such a pure shooter. Um,
Marcus Camby.
I loved Camby, Latrell Sprewell. That was fun. Steve Novak to pair it along with Jeremy Lin. That was fun. Not my favorite, but that was fun. Um,
Do you think if the Knicks win the championship, that Cat goes into the equation?
I think Cat goes into the equation. Absolutely. Without a doubt. But there were some weird years. Like I love the Tyson Chandler, and there were some weird years where like you had guys who were just like balling. But yeah, it would be a mesh from this team now combined with guys from that 90s era. And then like some fun superlatives for the Jeremy Lins and the Novaks of the world. But you've got right now, like I could throw Josh Hart in there. I could throw OG Ananobi in there. Mikal Bridges is going on a run. I'm not ready to throw him in there. But Josh Hart, OG, Landry Shamet, you keep doing what you're doing, buddy, and you'll find your place in Knicks lore. None of these guys, if they win, none of these guys are gonna have to pay for anything in New York ever again.
Oh, I think I
Deuce
think they're
McBride,
I think they're good as it is. You didn't mention one of my favorite players, just from because he reminds me of Dennis Rodman so much with his game, is Mitchell Robinson.
yeah, Mitch is great, and Mitch is the longest tenured Nick right now. He's the longest tenured guy on the team, so Mitch is great. Mitch gets hurt a lot. He's a huge, one of those guys that just comes in and like gives you some energy instantly all the time. So yeah,
Can't
six
shoot worth
man.
a
We
fuck though.
No, he can't. He line drive, weird shot put, foul shot. But Deuce McBride, like you could definitely get some fun six man in there.
So let me ask you this: I know there's a difference, and this is why I want to talk about just the grander scheme of the NBA. Tell me who are some of your favorite players to watch in the NBA, and then tell me who you think are maybe the top five players in the NBA.
Okay, favorite players to watch when Anthony Edwards is healthy. He's and I don't get to see a ton of his games, but he's one of my. He's just so big. Like the way he plays his position, he can really do it all. He's certainly on that list. SGA, the way he scores and does it is always special. Jokic, because he's such a freak. Watching Wemby evolve this year has been very fun because he's such an alien and can do it in different ways. I think Jalen Brunson, I know I'm biased, but I think he's the most fun to watch. This year alone, as much as I hate this team, Jalen Brown was special this year.
Yeah.
And to watch him be able to take over games, Donovan Mitchell, when he gets going, he's not the same guy he used to be, but when Donovan Mitchell gets going, the Pistons and Cade Cunningham, they really showed themselves this year. And especially Cade, they need a little bit of help to go with him, but he's a legitimate superstar. So Cade Cunningham is somebody that if people haven't watched him, because I know the Pistons, even though they were one seed this year, Cade Cunningham is one of those guys that I look at as very one of those special players.
No, I agree, and I think that, and this is something that I talked about. One of my buddies a few months ago, he was getting ready to sell, I think, a Cade Cunningham card, and it wasn't going to be worth a ton, but I told him to hold on to it, and he's like, "Why? Well, what's going to happen?" I go, "Well, I said when Cade Cunningham and Brunson and these guys go to the Olympics and they're Captain America and they bring home the gold medal for the next 8 years or whatever. I was like, this is where their value, this is where their name recognition, this is where it's all going to happen for these guys. And well, I didn't know Brunson was going to win a championship this year, so he's already going to get elevated. But I mean, these guys are going to be part of the Olympic team, part of a massive part of it that's going to probably win another gold medal. So there's a lot of accolades coming for the guys that you mentioned down the road. Anthony Edwards, another one.
I love team basketball, and the Knicks play the best brand of team basketball. I could look at every team and tell you, like, I could look at the Sixers and be like, hey, go watch Tyrese Maxey. That's a fun kid to watch. You could do that and pick a guy from every team and go, that guy's a fun guy to watch. The Knicks are a fun team to watch, and I like to watch teams that are good, fun teams. The Spurs this year, I think these are two very fun teams to watch because they play that team aspect of basketball, which that's what I enjoy the most.
No, I agree. So are those kind of a mixtures of your favorite players and then who you think are the best players?
Yeah. Like the up and comers, Knipple, what he did this year as a rookie. I think he's going to be a really special player in this game, a special shooter in this game. So a lot of young kids coming up. But and you're seeing it right now with the rookie with Harper on San Antonio. So there's a lot of young guys that I think in a couple of years we're going to look and be like, that guy's a stud.
Why do Knicks fans hate Trey Young so much? There's was videos that I've been watching. I don't know if they're from a couple years ago. I don't know what the hell happened in the Hawks series. But I was watching a video outside MSG, and there was like a Knicks fan that was wearing like a Spider-Man mask, and he was going up interviewing people, and they're just like, "Oh, fuck Trey Young! I want to fucking decapitate him and fuck his mom in front of him." And then there was a guy that's like, "Oh, fucking Trey Young! His hair looks like my uncle's pubes." And I was like, "Holy shit, man!" I was like, "These Knicks fans are fucking unhinged." I don't know what was going on a couple years ago. Maybe it's that every series. Do you know why there's such a
No.
disdain for Trey Young?
Trey Young beat us up in the playoffs in the Garden, made us look silly in the Garden. And anytime you have Reggie Miller, Trey Young, Halliburton last year, where they do something special, if you do something in the Garden and then you do like on top of that, you like do a choking signal or you taunt the fans, they'll hate you forever. Trae Young is not even a part of that organization anymore. And when the Knicks win games, you have people out in front of the Garden still to this day chanting F Trae Young. That's the it's the beauty of New York. A couple years ago, one random guy was like, they were chanting out in front in the Garden, and one guy was like, "Bing bong." That has now been the whole. Like, I don't know what's wrong with us, but it's why I love us so much.
It's beautiful. I think I have it saved on my Instagram. I was like this. It actually scared me. I was actually jarred at how aggressive some of these guys were that were wearing Spider-Man masks out on the street. But again, this is why we love sports. It brings out the animals and people, and it brings everybody together. What do you think is going to happen with Giannis this offseason? The Knicks he kind of was always mentioned as a guy that only wanted to go to New York or possibly Miami. I don't think the Knicks need to do anything with that right now. What do you think is going to happen with Giannis since everybody's got him going to every single team right now?
Right. I don't think the Knicks makes any sense. I wouldn't go after Giannis. I think the big conversation is going to be what happens with Giannis and LeBron James. I still think LeBron is legit, like can help a team depending on what team he goes to, and as long as he takes a more of a backseat role, which he was willing to do for the Lakers this year. But Luka got hurt, a bunch of guys got hurt, and they had to elevate that. You brought up Miami, like that makes a lot of sense for me. If you're looking for success, I think too many teams and too many fans get fixated with, oh, just pair up a bunch of stars and they're going to be great. Like I said earlier, I'm a team basketball player. So you put him on a team where like it makes sense for him within the role of that team, and that team can be great. Milwaukee, they've ran it their course. Guys got hurt, guys moved on. Once you win a championship, guys move on. That's how it goes. Guys get overpaid to stay with the team or leave. So that's the nature of the game. I think he would be great. I think Miami makes a lot of sense. A lot of sense for Giannis. I'm trying to like he's such an interesting, unique player. It's hard to think of like what makes the most sense for a Giannis. I'm thinking like if you put him with Boston, that becomes very dangerous. But there's a lot of similarity. I don't know. It's a tough one.
Yeah, Boston's a lot. The thing that just muddies the waters a little bit are his injury history, the fact that someone's going to have to give him a max contract, which you would expect. Also, I don't know what Miami looks like if they have to gut their team for Giannis, and I know that was a concern for Giannis too, is what their team looks like if they have to get rid of Khalil Ware and Tyler Hero and Jaquez and 4 first-round picks and swaps and all that stuff. So look, I don't know. They got to get a star in Miami. They need somebody with Bam. Like they've got to do something.
You
To try
put
to
him
move
with
up.
Bam, that's dangerous. That's you had a couple other pieces, and that's really dangerous. If Philadelphia wants to get involved, what are you going to do with Joel Embiid? How does that work itself out? But they instantly become a contender again if you put Maxey with Giannis.
The super team kind of came and gone though. I don't. I was thinking yesterday. I think maybe the Heat with LeBron and Wade and Bosh. I think that might have been the only super team that worked. And I don't know when they stopped. Maybe it was after the whole Nets disaster of when they got Kyrie and Durant and Harden and all those guys. But now it's if you're not 9 or 10 guys deep and you're trying to just play 7 or 8 guys a night, you're not going to fucking make it this far.
That's why the Knicks fired Thibodeau, because they needed to get a coach who was going to go deeper on the bench. And now you're using guys like Shamit. Like the Knicks are the perfect example of what you're looking for right now. And I think that's why they're having a ton of success right now. But you got to have one superstar if you're going to win. You got to have at least one superstar and then a bunch of role players. And then I think the most important position you got to have, doesn't have to be a superstar, but has to be really good, is your point guard.
You haven't talked about how you've been crying after the Knicks games.
I cried after game 2 on Friday. What had happened was I'm watching this game, and the emotion from the up and down, I didn't realize how much. I'm not built for playoff basketball at all.
Yeah.
And at all. And like the hat throwing and the screaming and yelling, and I'm not built for it. And then we're getting into the clutch in that final minutes of the game. I'm yelling at the TV. I'm standing up, blah, blah, blah. The errant pass from Wemby, the free throw, the missed shot from Wemby. And when Wemby missed that shot, wide open, there was all these feelings that came with it. It's like my life slowed down. And he gets the ball, and I go, oh, my God, I'm a Knicks fan. He's going to make this. Of course he's going
Yeah.
to make this. This happens to the Knicks all the time. We're not going to win this game. And the ball goes up. And missed shot. And then I look to the clock and I go, please hit 0. It hits 0. Everyone celebrates. Right here on this very floor in my living room, I fell to my knees. My girlfriend's sitting on the couch. We haven't been dating that long. It's the first time she's seen this. And I fall into her arms like this. And I don't even realize that I'm overcome with so much emotion. And she says to me, "Are you crying?" And
Oh boy.
I snapped right out of it. I like pulled myself together. I was like, no, no, no. I'm just really emotional right now. So yeah, I was like on the verge, and that was only game 2.
Well, you know, I do like your Mamba mentality. If you're like, we haven't won anything yet, but you did celebrate like your team won it. What I can't imagine what it's going to be like if you guys actually win the championship. Are you afraid to cry in front of your girlfriend? Because I do feel like I like to cry. I have my emotions out there. I would want a woman to be able to embrace my tears and understand kind of the pain and agony of how I got to this point.
I have a 6 month mark where no crying, no farting until 6 months in the relationship. That's my
Okay, and
general rule.
you're before that right now.
Yeah, we're before that. Once we get to 6 months, I can cry and I can fart and I can feel comfortable about it.
Were you able to talk about any of this Nick stuff on your show today?
Yeah, yeah, we got it in. This is you know how I slid it in.
What'd you do?
I disguised it as like, what's more exciting right now, the NBA Finals or the Stanley Cup Finals, which is a good topic because they're both
Yeah.
exciting. But that's how I kind of snuck it in there. Ticket prices. My producer did a good job today of throwing it in with ticket prices soaring. We got to kind of find different ways where it made sense for the audience. But like, I get it. Not everyone's into basketball here. I don't know why, but they're not.
Listen, turn it on, man. There's some great. I mean, especially the Spurs right now. I mean, they're going to be. I know everybody was ready to hand Wemby the keys to the NBA, but they're going to be a team that's going to be in the mix for the next 7, 8, 9, 10 years with Wemby, with Harper, with Castle. It's the Spurs organization. It's. I mean, when you get those draft picks, it helps out, but first
I
class
think their
organization.
window's open, like Spurs, OKC, their window's wide open. I know people are going to think this is crazy, probably, but like, I don't think the Knicks have this wide open window. I think like you got to go win it now.
I agree. I didn't want to. I was when I was texting you the other day. I had a text that go, if the Knicks don't win now, they're never winning. And then I thought that was kind of negative before the series. But no, I feel the same way. It's like Halliburton was out this year, so I don't know if the Pacers would have made it. They're going to get a great player in the draft, and then you've got the West, who's always coming with OKC and the Spurs being. I think they had the two best records in the league this year. So yeah, the window for the Knicks it's extremely small. Not to say that they can't replicate this season and do it again 1, 2, 3 years down the road, but you know how hard it is to win a championship. The window's right now.
Tatum was hurt most of the year for Boston. He came back and they
Yep.
still were a good team. So they're going to be better next year. I think that Detroit, like they arrived in a way this year. They're going to add pieces with Cade Cunningham. That will be a better team. So I think the windows for the Knicks is a little smaller than you would hope for a team that's on the verge of winning a championship. But yeah, I think it's go win right now because you just never know what's going to happen. And for anybody that's been there before, you just never know when you're going to make it again.
Yeah, nothing wrong with that. If they would have said, "Hey, listen, we're going to put this team together. We're going to have a 4 or 5 year window. We're only going to win one championship," I think everybody would have signed off on that. I do want to ask you about one more thing that I haven't been able to talk to anybody about in my world. But before we get into that, because it's another sport, I just wanted anything else that I didn't cover as far as basketball goes, as far as the Knicks, because this was my chance to talk basketball. This is your chance to talk basketball without feeling like people are tuning out at all. Did I leave anything out at all? Is there anything you would like to cover with me?
You hit it all, but I will just say this: that for people that don't love basketball or are starting to try to get into it, like this is the team to watch if you want to get back into basketball. Ball movement, clutch performances, playing for the guy next to you, not playing for yourself. This is as good as it gets. Jalen
Defense.
Brunson, defense. Jalen Brunson with his father who's an assistant on this team, who is just looks like Jalen, just 25 years older. That bond and relationship taking place right now. You've got nobodies on this Nick team that are stepping up. Jose Alvarado is a guy that's on the bench, a backup point guard. He's from New York. He's a New York kid. He's coaching these guys up when he's not playing. I love this team. I freaking love this team. That's all.
Dude, I hear you, man. They really took care of Jose Alvarado when they got him out of New Orleans, man. I think he's just forever grateful to be part of this ride. So, there was one more thing I think that I was going to say about when you're talking about. All right, no, I'm going to move on. Just tell me real quickly how you feel about the. I know this is kind of a general question, but it's just swept my mind for the last couple of months. Where are you at with Rossini and Mike Vrabel? What do you think about that whole
Uh,
situation?
Anytime I come on and you and I talk, I'm like, if I could just get out of this conversation without a crazy take that I have to have, or some uncomfortable topic that's going to make me sweat. No, what's my take on it? Oh man,
I know it's kind of
Rossini.
I know it's kind of calmed down by now, and Vrabel's about to start the season, and it kind of got kicked up again when AJ Brown got traded to the Pats because that was what she had been reporting. I think
Yeah,
for the
I feel
last.
like they quieted that down on the trade until like it blew over, and then everything became you can make the trades. But I think Rossini, I was shocked by it. Now, all the stuff that comes out now with the little comments she's made about her husband, I just feel bad for her husband. I feel bad for the kids that are too young now to understand what's going on, but in 10 years, they'll know exactly what took place. For Vrabel, his kids are old enough, his family, his wife. It just sucks. Like, it's just one of those crappy situations where for the people that love, a little, the yentas like us that like to, talk about it. Yeah, it's an interesting story. But and it's like, ooh, it's good gossip. But there's nothing good that comes from this. I don't care that Diana Rossini lost her job. Like, it's more of the family. It sucks for the family. And for her as a reporter, like, yeah, don't expect to be a reporter again. You're not going to be trusted with this type of information. So you got to figure something else out. And for Vrabel and them to put on this lie and this BS, like it's all fake and it's these pictures are, there were so many other people that were at the hangout. I mean, people will lie through their teeth about anything and nothing shocks me anymore. I just feel bad for more like Rossini's husband. He's getting, I think, the brunt of this.
Yeah, yeah, and that's the thing too. Is almost like people said that Vrabel's wife was the one that hired the private investigator. So it goes very deep. But to me it was funny because Vrabel left the draft and had to go to rehab or family rehab or some retreat. And it's almost like Rossini's denied it the whole way, even out the door, from the Athletic. And it's almost like Vrabel's like, I'm going to get therapy. I'm committed to my family. It was like Vrabel admitted that it happened. It's like everybody's admitted it, but Rossini's still sticking to that it didn't happen. I don't know if that's the story she's telling her husband or not, but I appreciate that even though people around her are changing it, we never saw any pictures of anybody else even close to them at that resort. She's still sticking with it.
No, she's getting counseling, I'm sure. I don't know that but I'm guessing she's still pictured with her husband. Like, I'm guessing they're getting counseling. Here's the deal. She worked for the Athletic. At that point, whether they believed her or not, like she knew she had to walk away from that. When it comes to
Yeah.
Vrabel, Robert Kraft has already been through a weird situation himself with massage parlors. Like, if the Patriots sucked last year, Vrabel might not have a job. He's a good coach. They didn't suck, so they want to do all they can to retain him. So for his portion of it, it's like we're going to go publicly. We're going to get you help. For the Rossini, it's like you get help, don't get help. I don't think anyone really cares because either way, you're not
Yeah.
getting a job at the Athletic. You're not. You've already lost your credibility as a reporter. So
Yeah, I think Rossini's going to end up at Barstool Sports or something along those lines. But I heard she
makes
was making
sense.
around yeah, I heard she was making around $1 million or something like that. So I'm sure that she's fine. Aaron Jacobson, 95.7 WDAE. You guys are still on 620, right?
Still on 620. Still on 620.
Okay.
You're the man.
And
You're the man.
iHeart, if you guys are looking to listen to anybody in the morning, now that I'm not on a morning show anymore, I would definitely check those guys out. Highly entertaining outside of just talking about, you know, baseball and box scores and all that bullshit every single day. These guys actually, try to come up with compelling stuff, and that's why I enjoyed the time that I did work for them. Great guys, always looked out for me, and I'm glad that we're still able to talk and be friends, and I appreciate you coming on and talking some round ball, dude. I was so excited this year because the NBC was bringing basketball back, and John Tesh was doing promos to start the year talking about bringing round ball rock, and I've just been jacked this whole season, man. And now it's winding down, but I'm glad that it could wind down with your team in the finals.
Let's go get a championship. Then we can talk parade. Anytime you want to talk hoop or anything, I love talking to you about anything. So thank you for having me on. I'm always around, man.
I love you, dude. I appreciate it.
Love you, brother. Let's do it again soon.